Here are the luckiest fishermen in the world who found treasures while fishing. 3 Yemeni fishermen got super lucky after finding 80 kilograms of whale vomit floating on the shores of the Kuria province, and this vomit is expected to net them $2.5 million. You might be wondering, how can whale vomit fetch that kind of money? In reality, whale vomit is a very rare and costly wax, and whales don't vomit much. This wax is a priced ingredient to perfume manufacturers. Whale vomit is also known as ambergris, which has a foul light smell when it is fresh. After the vomit is dried, it smells amazing and pleasant and very sweet, and for this reason, it is needed by the perfume companies. The fishermen spotted the vomit from a distance due to its nasty smell, and when they caught it, they were overcome with joy. Another fisherman from Puerto Princesa in the Philippines went fishing in his local waters and discovered something exciting. When the day was over, he tried to pull up the anchor, but it was stuck. He was forced to He picked up a giant clam and took it home. When he got home, he opened the clam only to find a giant pearl measuring 30 centimeters and 67 centimeters long. It weighed 75 pounds. He didn't realize that it was the biggest pearl ever discussed. He assumed it was worthless and kept it as a good luck charm and put it under his bed. It wasn't until 10 years later, he showed his gift to his friend, he realized the significance of this find. After posting a few pictures on Facebook, he realized the pearl was worth over $100 million. It estimated that throughout the course of human history, over 3 million ships sunk, and a pretty good percentage of those were merchant ships carrying gold. Some of the best examples of this were a Spanish galleon that was sunk by British ships in 1708. It was then discovered 300 years later with around $17 billion worth of gold, and again in World War I and II over 700 British ships were sunk with gold bars. There are many other boats and ships which are still lying somewhere on the ocean floor, which has treasures worth a lot. One lucky Dutch fisherman managed to coincidentally find some for himself. He fished up to 12.5 kilograms gold bars with a total value of around $1 million. There is a new trend called magnet fishing, which you might have heard of. This trend has been receiving a lot of attention. Basically, what you do is you buy a powerful magnet and attach it to a line and chuck it in a river or lake, and then hope that the magnet latches onto metal items. Using this method, people have found the craziest of items. Things such as guns, phones, knives, money boxes, cannonballs, World War II planes, and many other things. One guy got very lucky when he found an old safe, full of expensive items. 22-year-old Adam Hastings from the UK was magnet fishing for the first time, and he pulled up an old safe containing expensive watches, necklaces, jewelry, and World War II medals. Contents of the safe have yet to be valued, and unfortunately, he probably won't get to keep the treasure. Substance smugglers around the world use many different ways to get substances from one country to another. And probably the most common one is via boat. Sometimes they are shook or they see Coast Guard come in and they chuck the substance load overboard in a desperate attempt to get rid of it, and most of the time it sinks or washes up on shore. When boat captain Thomas Freeman was out in his boat in Florida, he fished up $620,000 of substance, but instead of doing what normal people would do and hand it in, he decided to keep it and start selling it and living the high life. That was until he got caught and was sentenced to serve his time in prison. One of the most significant and valuable finds from a fisherman happened in the Gaza Strip by a Palestinian man, who put it straight on eBay for $500,000. The fisherman and his friends were out on his boat one day when he saw what he thought to be a corpse in the water. He and his friends dived in to inspect it, but they quickly discovered it wasn't a body and instead was the statue. This wasn't just an ordinary statue, it was a 2,000-year-old bronze statue of the Greek god Apollo that had been lost for centuries, and even though they tried to sell it for $500,000, it's estimated to be priceless, and it made the world of archaeology get very